You can be everything to everyone, and until you get comfortable enough to communicate that to people, they will use you and toss you around. Hey loves, welcome. So today I want to talk about setting boundaries as feminine women, because I don't understand why a lot of women feel guilty for demanding that people treat them the right way. People respond to whatever we put out there, and so what happens when we tolerate any kind of treatment are always that we are training people to disrespect us and treat us anyhow they like, and that's okay with us. But as feminine women, if we want people to respect us, we need to learn to say no. And that can only be communicated in our ability to set boundaries for ourselves. And so in today's video, you're going to learn how to say no and not feel guilty, because boundaries are not all about closing ourselves from the world. It's about finding balance between the limits that we set for ourselves in relationships and our ability to still be interactive and intimate with the world in a healthy way. So first thing on my list is to believe in yourself, because it's very hard to demand respect from people if you do not believe that you deserve it. So for a long time, I had a couple of friends from whom I demanded no standards at all, because I didn't believe that they were going to take me serious. And true to my words, they never took me serious. No matter how low I went with my standards, there was one among them who wanted me to go lower. And that was my fault, because I did not see myself worthy enough to enforce my boundaries. People who believe in themselves are not scared to raise their standards, because they know that nothing in this world is worth lowering their standards for. Once you have the courage to raise your standards, you don't get excited over cheap affection, because you know how much you've invested into yourself. And you'll actually be very surprised about how many people are willing to meet your expectations. If you believe in yourself, you would not sidecast yourself. And so be proud in yourself and be the main character in your life, because there's someone out there who would not hesitate to live up to your expectations, to meet your standards and make you happy, only if you have the courage enough in yourself to expect that from him. Next up is to let your no carry weight. If you say no on anything, you should mean it. And that is why you don't have to keep playing with words that you don't mean. Because dilly-dallying make your standards weak. You don't have to feel guilty or feel the need to make a few exceptions because certain people are going to feel comfortable. You're not responsible for how they feel, because how they feel is based on how they chose to interpret your standards. This is your life, sis, and you're allowed to detect how it goes. If you cannot separate your emotions from what people are going to feel, you'll become powerless, because everybody is responsible for their own emotions. The more you bend the rules to favor certain people, the weaker people are going to label you, because they know that come what may, you can make a few exceptions for them, and so they can get you to do whatever they please. Next up is to do what's good for you. So the reason we struggle to say no is because we are not putting ourselves first. We are told that putting ourselves first is selfish. But on the contrary, everybody chooses themselves first if they are given the opportunity. And so where is the fairness? If you want to gain your power back, you must focus on doing what's best for you. The moment you start radiating that I know what's good for me energy, people are going to feel it. They will see it, and they're going to respect you for that. You wouldn't even have to verbally tell people what you stand for, because they're going to see what you do. They're going to see how you react, and they will treat you as such. It makes your body understand that you've reached a level of self-worth and self-respect where people pleasing is no longer an option. You don't have to feel obliged to put others first whilst you relegate yourself and your needs to the background. And this happens with families a lot. Let's say that you start working and earning some amount of income. Some family members are going to start expecting you to take care of their needs. And the moment you tell them that you're not capable right now, they start calling you names or saying things to make you feel guilty. But even though you are kind of obliged to help them, you must not let that get into your head. Because the moment you start feeling guilty, you're going to start pouring all that you have into them. And at the end of the day, you're going to be left dry. And I'm not saying that you should only think about yourself, but no matter what the situation is, make sure that even if you help others, you are in a position where you'll be comfortable. Make sure you're not doing that with resentment and regret. If you don't want people to push you around, you must stop neglecting yourself and start living in a way that makes you feel comfortable. You need to have the courage to express the fact that you can't always be there for people. And if they fail to understand you, you are not responsible for how they're going to feel. Next up is to get comfortable with inconveniencing people. And I said this already, and I'm going to say it again. You can be everything to everyone. And until you get comfortable enough to communicate that to people, they will use you and toss you around. It's okay for your actions to make people feel uncomfortable. It's okay to look like the bad guy. Because most of the time, no matter how considerate you get with your decisions, it would not be good enough for certain people. And if you continue to think about that, you will go crazy, sis. You will even be tempted to make yourself small in order to satisfy their ego. And that is called settling. You are settling. Stop settling for what they think and do what makes you comfortable. Don't let anyone manipulate you into doing what they believe you need to do because they find your decisions inconvenient. The bottom line is that you can't please everyone. Neither can everyone make you happy. A lot of people walk through life desperately looking for another human being to play certain roles in their life. And I don't think you want to put yourself in the position where you're going to make everyone happy, because you also have a responsibility towards yourself, and it is to make yourself happy, so that even if another person comes into your life, it will be to complement the stability that you already have and not for them to come and complete you. Next up is to stop making vague requests. So if you have the habit of telling people not to treat you a certain way or not to disrespect you, but you never follow with what you intend to do should they not maintain their end of the bargain, they're always going to disrespect you. You should have a plan of what you intend to do should someone overstep your boundaries. And you don't even have to verbally communicate this plan. You just have to show people, just act it out. Let's say that you have a group of friends who know that you don't play with your time, but anytime that you make plans to go somewhere, they always come late. And although you keep telling them, they always show up late. The next time they show up late, just don't say anything, take your bag and leave. Some people are chronically disrespectful, and so if you don't show them what you can do, they will never take you serious. Next up is to listen to your gut. And it's important that we stop shutting our gut and our intuition, because 80% of the time, it gives us very indispensable directions. So back in uni, I had this friend who walked up to me and suggested that we go do something which I did not feel good about. So I politely rejected it. And although I realized that she was kind of sad, it was very good, because I realized that should I have followed with that request, that would have been the basics of our relationship. I would always want to please her, although that doesn't make me happy. You should be able to act on or express how you feel and not feel guilty, because you don't want to become that woman whom everybody tosses around because they know they can make her do anything they want. You would agree with me that more times the intuitions that we shut down and never act on end up being true. And even as Christians, our intuition is helped by the Holy Spirit. You hear in your spirit not to open up your life to certain people, but then you ignore it and then you end up embracing them. And then they in turn disappoint you big time. Boundaries are meant to make our lives better. They are for our own protection. That's why we have to be very resolute in the kind of treatment that we demand from people. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.